The question of this arc, honestly, there's so many things that have gone on in this arc. Like Black Clover has gone crazy since the start of this arc. There's been all sorts of action, character development all over the place. Like I think every single named character of relevant, not even of relevance, because some of like side characters have gotten pretty good character development. Like almost everybody rather has gotten character development, and it's been really nice. Again, more plot points of being connected. There's so much happening, but the question that I have in such a mind twist until probably recently was, what exactly is the point of Goldry and Revchi as being made apparent at all, being set and like brought attention to? What exactly is going to play within their characters? Because Goldry, captain, former captain of the Purple Orcas, they believe that he was a traitor, and I still think that was all set up. I don't think he was the traitor. I think that he was his own kind of criminal, but I think that the traitor was. I don't think he was the traitor because obviously we know that we know that Rai was impersonating someone, but there was some more to it that we haven't got back to. It was just part of that whole like setup of infiltration, and Revchi being the villain from chapter one, the guy who Asta beat the first time he got his sword. The fact that he especially getting brought back is very surprising. But what exactly is the point of this? Because with all this crazy stuff going on, all these plot points and revelations and lore coming up, what is the point of these two characters getting out of prison, wandering around, and getting any panel time at all? Because this arc, I doubt they're going to do anything directly important in this arc, but the thing that was, in fact, like very, very quietly and very, very, I think it was what, one panel, two panels of them looking at the Shadow Palace, and then Goldry commented about how he's heard that there are tons of rare magic weapons and items and whatnot in there, and it made me think of how these characters could in fact be relevant way later. Because with Goldry, it's understandable. Former captain, clearly he's very powerful. He's got a pretty good magic on top of he's gotta have a pretty impressive magic like quantity, and he's probably got all the normal stuff like mana skin, magic sensing. It wouldn't surprise me if he had something like mana zone. There's a lot to him. I mean, I don't know why he'd have mana zone. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he had higher level stuff, essentially. And him having, been released and being relevant in whatever way it will end up being is understandable. But Rebchi, again, is the villain from chapter one. I can't think of I don't think any other series off the top of my head, I mean, that have had the chapter one villain become relevant again. Because really, when you see the chapter one villain, this character's entire existence is to get the shit beaten out of them, so you can see what the main character is capable of. So you can see whatever their power is, or a display of their character, as it is. I don't think I need to really go in depth of explaining it. I feel like if you're watching this video, you've probably seen enough enough manga. Rather, it doesn't even have to be shonen. In any battle manga or anything that could fall into the same idea, regardless if it's shonen or seinen or even probably shoujo, that the chapter one villain is a non-factor. They're literally there to be a dummy, so you can see stuff about the main character. And the fact that Rebchi is coming back, it can't just be, hey, do you remember this guy? Haha. He's gotta have some form of importance. And what we know from chapter one is that he was a criminal. He wanted to steal Yuno's four-leaf clover grimoire and sell it. I believe it was on the black market. I don't remember if he said exactly if there was a country that he was related to, any of the other kingdoms, but he did say, that he was going to sell the grimoire, and gonna sell it. Yeah, he talked about a collector in the underworld. Probably just the name of the connections of the criminal underworld and whatnot. You can kind of just make it out in your head. We don't need an explanation. off of just the general idea. I feel like that's a super. So you have a guy like Goldry who's smart. He's a businessman. He's already got illegal dealings. And you have Rebji who's a thief, who's clearly very cunning and sneaky, and he's also got connections to illegal sales and all these people in like a darker area of the series. And they're going into the Shadow Palace to get, at least in their mind, rare magic tools and all sorts of different trinkets and spell books. Maybe they'll find like a spell in there, because I don't know if we've gotten a whole lot of explanation like in depth, because obviously found the scroll with Sylph in it, but I'm wondering if there's going to be more of like you could just get like a +1 to your spell book by finding like a specific spell. I'd have to look more into that. I can't say off the top of my head if that was ever mentioned. If in the comments, if that has been, tell me. I feel like it hasn't, because I probably would have done something about it, because I think that was a really interesting concept. But anyway, what exactly would they have moving forward in this? And the idea is, I figured this while thinking about the Diamond Kingdom video I did recently, and that is they could either, as said, try and buy a safe spot within the Clover Kingdom of being like, we have all this rare shit and powerful stuff, and we will trade and or at least sell it back to you, but we want to be pardoned of our crimes and be normal citizens, which I feel like won't happen. That's just a good a good road, a good ending kind of like area with them. But I feel like instead they're going to sell it and make a huge profit in the underground world, because they probably aren't going to be like, maybe they'll take us back. They're probably going to say, fuck that. We don't even want to deal with them anymore. Especially Goldry. Like, I imagine, like, even though he was caught in his illegal dealings, the fact he was branded a traitor probably pissed him off more than just like if he got caught with all his other illegal bindings and whatnot. Um, and like, they could go to any of the other kingdoms, but I feel like the Diamond Kingdom, as it's probably the biggest threat, because we don't know much about the Spade or the Heart Kingdom. I believe the Spade is the largest one. I'm just gonna look that up off the top of my head, or look this up in the middle of the video rather. I believe the Spade is the largest one. The Diamond and the Heart are adjacent to them. The Spade is the only one that's connected to a different landmass on like to another continent, and it's the only one that has the large division of like an unclaimed zone between. If you've ever looked, if you haven't seen, look up Black Clover countries. You can see the official map of the continent that the kingdom's on. But they could play a huge role in a following arc, because I talked about how the Diamond Kingdom's in a good position to strike. We don't know whether or not all the captains that were taken over by the elves are going to be fixed right away. There's the fact that Sally can make artificial bodies to put their souls in, but we don't know how long that'll take. So they could be, they could be out of play for a certain amount of time, because we don't know how that'll go. We don't know if the elves will leave, or maybe they'll let themselves be held prisoner over everything that happened until they get their pseudo bodies and can give back the people. Kind of like house arrest. So it'll be like, we're gonna keep you here and maybe like keep your magic sealed up until we get our person's body back, and then we'll give you a body, and then or something like that. But I feel like the idea of not only everything that we know the Diamond Kingdom is capable of, them getting a lot of super dangerous magical items from within the Shadow Palace of all things, literally this like construct that is the border between this world in the Black Clover world, the normal one, and this like dark hellish world where all the demons and monsters are in. So I don't know. I feel like it's a good idea for them to still hold relevance, but make sense of why exactly they're relevant. But at the same time, setting up a future arc, because again, it would give them a good spot. They don't have to fight in the next arc. They probably would, because they'd want revenge. But just the fact that they could make the next arc feel more impactful, like not just, oh, the Diamond Kingdom is coming and they have all their forces, but the Diamond Kingdom is coming and we know already they have X, Y, and Z dangerous magic tools outside or from the Shadow Palace. So no, again, I see it as a pretty good idea of predicting what exactly they'll do and what could come of their characters being relevant again. I don't feel like it's just gonna be like they're gonna be, as the picture I horribly photoshopped their faces onto Dumb and Dumber. I feel like their characters are gonna have some form of relevance to a further point in the story. So tell me in the comments what you think about this. What your theory, I guess, is of these guys, or if you think my theory sounds good, and what exactly could they end up like altering it? You know, uh, they could end up selling items to all sides. That's like a super profitable thing in like war. I don't need to know like a ton about history or like warfare or anything to that to know that you sell items to opposing states, and they're gonna keep trying to like out but they're pretty much gonna go at each other to try and get whatever's best over the other guy first. It's gonna be way different than just like, I want to buy these good things off you if you know your competitors are getting out of the same pot. So it could be important. Yami still has a plain old sword. He could get a super cool magic sword off of the market that these guys end up like digging out of the Shadow Palace. But again, other than that, tell me in the comments what you think about this. And yeah, I want to hear any of your guys' theories as well. Other than that, I really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, but from the like button, and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I think bye.